You mentioned Harry Kane. I just wonder how much of thinking will go into in terms of getting the new manager will also be about thinking, oh, which manager would Harry Kane be pleased with, Lee, in order to keep him?
Yeah. Well, I think every manager that's come in, you know, listen, if you're a manager and you're walking through the doors at Spurs, you're going to be delighted that you've got an unbelievable centre forward and consistent striker there. The problem is that yes, you know, we can keep going over. Is Harry going to stay there? Is he going to go? He keeps staying and keeps staying. You know it's what you know he wants out of his career. Is at that age now where you know he's got to be looking and thinking, well, Spurs are in a transition where they are almost rebuilding again. You know, where are they going to go? The possibility of not playing in Europe this season is a massive catch, not just for Harry, but for literally, you know, toying people to come into the football club. So I think, listen, the situation that lies with Harry is going to be down to himself, is whether he wants to, you know, become an all-time legend, which he already is at Spurs, or does he want to go and achieve and win more trophies? Because he's a remarkable player. When you look at what he's done again this season, it's staggering that, you know, that he isn't going and winning Champions Leagues and all the rest of it. And unfortunate, well, I say unfortunate, fortunate for Spurs, you know, he showed that he's loyal to the football club.
That's the thing, isn't it? Because I remember an interview back in 2017, Danny, where he said, I just want to win trophies, and if in 3 years I don't win a few trophies, by then I think it'll be really disappointing. That was 2017. 6 years has passed since, and there's no trophies. Unfortunately, that is the case. But he spoke recently, which also sort of hinted that he might resign to just, you know, staying at Spurs, really. A lot of that is also relying on Daniel Levy, and he was willing to part with Harry Kane. It's going to be a risk situation because I think Harry Kane is going into his final year of the contract. So do you let him go to possibly a Premier League rival, or do you risk him leaving on a free at the end of his contract, Danny?
So I text Harry probably 10 days ago, just seeing how he was, and then obviously I asked him the question, what's happening, and he didn't give too much away. And then I saw him after the Man United game, and we had 20 minutes, and you know, we spoke, and he's very much clued on you know what he's going to do next season. And for me, I think I disagree. I don't think Daniel holds the cards with Harry at the minute. How you can, I know you've got to run a business, but how you could possibly deprive somebody who's given you everything for the past how many years? He scored goal after goal. You know, he was promised a move he had a gentleman's agreement to go to Man City 2 years ago. Spurs broke that at the last minute. So for me, I don't see how Daniel has the upper hand in this situation. If the right team comes in for Harry, that Harry wants to go and play for, Harry, I feel as if Harry will knock on that door and say, you've got to let me leave.
Is there a better chance of Harry winning trophies if he leaves rather than staying at Spurs, considering that Spurs are rebuilding at the moment?
Depending on the team, for me, I remember when, you know, I was still at the club, and we was having a conversation, and he said, gosh, you know, if I was at City, I'd score 45 goals. And I remember laughing and thinking, yeah, all right, Harry, calm down. And and actually looking at it now, I'm thinking he's right. He'd easily scored 45 goals. But for me, I know I'm a big United fan, and I know that possibly, you know, there's rumours, and it's probably obvious that they need a number 9. But I know they've won the Carabao Cup, they're in the FA Cup final, but for me, I don't see that as a guarantee that Harry's going to win trophies there. Obviously, you can't go to City Chelsea absolutely tarnishes everything he's achieved at Tottenham, and obviously Arsenal's just a no-go.
Out of the question, really, Arsenal.
Yeah, so it just depends where, and for me, if none of them options were were what he wanted, I'd happily run my contract down for a year, and then I'd see if Real Madrid wanted to take me on a free transfer if I was him. So he's not in a bad position, but I'm absolutely intrigued to see what happens at the end of the season.
Would that be the best case scenario, Lee, for him to run down his contract and maybe see if Real Madrid's out window shopping at the moment?
It wouldn't surprise me if he ended up going to Real Madrid. Even I know he's into the sort of the last year of his contract, but it wouldn't surprise me at all. And as we're speaking about there, the clubs that we've touched on that Chelsea could do with a striker. These clubs are probably not what he's going to fall onto. The loyalty he's shown to the football club, I can't see that happening. The Man City deal I felt would have been the main one for him. Because I do feel like he would have scored goals in there. And it's whether, again, Man United go and really invest. If they brought in Harry Kane and then, they're linked to other big players. But again, I'm with Danny. I think, you've got to be looking at teams that are going to go and produce and have produced constantly and consistently over years, where he's going to go and win trophies, because otherwise he might as well stay at Spurs and continue his legacy and his legendary status there. So it's going to be a tricky one. I'm interested to see and intrigued what actually will happen in the summer. But I think this is the time and the only time I've actually thought this season coming. Next season coming. I feel that Harry might actually give up that Spurs shirt. It's just where he ends up going and what actually he fancies going and trying to achieve.
Will this summer be sort of the last chance, really, to make that move? Because if you look at his age as well, I mean, he's still at the top of his game, of course, but that's not going to last forever. It's this summer the last chance for him.
I don't think it's his last chance by any stretch, but I just think that, as he's getting older, I think he's got to sort of think of where he's going to end up. I think, you've got to think of your family and where you're going to be moving to and etc. But I do feel this is it's one of them times in his career where, he's consistently done it. And I think he will still do that. He's got a remarkable goal record, his creativity. And I feel that this year in particular, he's getting to that age, that key age where I feel that a move away might just be the right thing for him to do. I think if he stays another year or continues to think of staying another year, I think he may as well end up staying at Spurs and try and, be a part of this rebuild, if you like, as such, and seeing if he can win something with Spurs.